It's good to see that the Texans are here. I remember after the Saints did it for a few years, there was a concern that training camp was getting a little too soft, so they stopped coming. But it's just nice that facility's there, world class. Weight room. I went through the whole thing. It's amazing. They built it like that, and they've maintained it, and they use it. And welcome back, Texans. Thanks for the invitation to come down and hang out with DeMeco Ryans and your buddy Nick Caserio and the rest of the team. Hey,
yeah,
we've
they
had
don't
a
want to deal with you. Yeah, we have, right. No, they are.
Nick seems very surprised by that every time we interview him. He's like, I don't know what happened. Well, it wasn't him. It was Easterby. Easterby was the issue.
Right.
Easterby was the problem.
That's right.
And lo and behold, from the moment they ran Easterby out of the building, and maybe it's just a coincidence, but getting Easterby out of the building turned that team around. Possibly.
Definitely did. And then Caserio's been magical with his team building, right? I feel like we keep bringing up that phrase over the last 2 weeks. But, yeah, just depth, value, right? Big moves when you got to make a big move, whatever. The draft has been strong for them. They made a big move in the draft to get C.J. Stroud and the pass rusher from Alabama, Will Anderson. Right. So, yeah, they've got a lot of good things. And then acquiring DeMeco Ryans and him instilling that culture of the 49er, badass, we'll run into anything, we'll run through a wall no matter what. It's been the perfect marriage. They got it going, that's for sure. And some of these teams, they like to get away, right? There is importance to that. I talk to coaches sometimes where the new age NFL, because they got these great facilities, the owners, the teams kind of feel like, man, we got to use them. We paid all this money for it. Why go away to training camp? We got everything here, right? But I do think there's a old school, faction of coaches there that a little bit are like, I miss the let's get away from where we normally are. We're together as a team. There's not as much family, friend influence. We really bond that way. And then also when that ends and you go back to your facility, your stadium, right? I've heard coaches say this, it makes it special, right? It's a little bit like, hey, you made it through. And it's almost like another fresh breath of air to go, okay, we got a few more weeks here before we start real games, but it juices you up that way. And between the heat and I think a little camaraderie and team building and all of that, it is beneficial to some of these teams. So good for the Texans.
Usually the saying is breath of fresh air, but fresh breath of air isn't really a full-blown.
I tried to go smoothly right over it.
It's very close.
Right.
I can imagine the conversations between the bean counter and the head coach when they say, hey, this is what we spent for the new facility that you had to have. Now you want to spend this to go somewhere else? No, that's not going to happen. You wanted it. You got it. You get your team ready in it, and I'm sure that conversation's happened. They sent around a list before training camps opened of where all the teams are going and how many are leaving to go camp somewhere else. And I think this year was the smallest since, like, the COVID year that teams were going elsewhere to get themselves ready for the season. One last thing on Caserio, because I don't think he gets enough credit.
Yeah.
For this one specific thing.
Okay.
And I've tried to give him credit here and at PFT for it. Look, if the Deshaun Watson trade was the worst transaction in NFL history by the Cleveland Browns, when you consider everything they gave up for a guy who didn't play at all in 2021, who had 20-plus civil lawsuits hanging over him, you give up 3 first-round picks plus, and you pay him $230 million fully guaranteed. Well, there's a good move embedded in there, too. And the way that Caserio set the stage for the trade, you had to be pre-approved, basically. 4 teams were approved to negotiate directly with Watson, and what happened after that? That's up to Deshaun Watson and the teams, the Panthers, the Falcons, the Saints, and the Browns. And he just sat back, and he got 3 first-round picks plus from the Browns, and the Browns don't look like they did a very smart thing. And the mirror image of that is the Texans got themselves out of a mess, and they picked up 3 first-round picks plus for it.
No question, right. I mean, of all the major moves I just talked about with Nick Caserio and building that football team, that's the launching point. 100%. What they did with that trade, how they handled it. You've done a great job of giving them credit through that for the last year and a half, Mike. You've said that on here many times. There's no doubt about that. the way he handled that situation kind of weeded out the, like, oh, you're not for real, you're a pretender. Okay, now we got the 4. And, of course, what they got for it, yeah, phenomenal job. And they've killed it. And then, taking chances with trades, C.J. Stroud, oh, no, he didn't do good on that test. We can't draft him, whatever the hell that test is. I can't remember what the hell it's called anymore right now in the middle of August here. But either way, they don't flinch at all there, and they make that pick. It works out. I mean, they're rolling right now. And as I said last week, I think they're an under-the-radar team that we talk about teams that are in a Super Bowl window. I think the Texans are there. I know people are going to go, well, the offensive line's got new moving parts, and C.J. Stroud looked like he took a step back last year. Nah, I think it wasn't C.J. Stroud who took a step back. It was the offense. It's the reason Bobby Slowick's not there anymore to coach the offense and be the OC. You heard me many a times talk about the pass protection issues, not only the talent on the O-line, but the way it was schematically coached did not make sense a lot of the times, and it was not beneficial to C.J. Stroud. I think that's going to get fixed. I think they got the appropriate guys there. I think the Texans are dangerous. I do. I think they're one of those teams that's kind of, flying under the radar a little bit in the national media.
Think about what the Texans did, how they reacted to a second straight season of winning the division and beating a playoff team who was favored to win in the wild card round.
Yeah, right.
They didn't. I criticize the Vikings sometimes because I fear that the attitude in the building can be, and prove me wrong. Vikings, feel free to prove me wrong. I feel like just good enough is just good enough. The Texans could have done the just good enough is just good enough. We're still the best team in the division. We can have a home game in the playoffs every year. Don't make any sudden moves. Don't take any risks. And what do? They identify their flaws. What is keeping us from becoming an elite team? What is holding us up? Oh, our offensive line stinks. Our offense regressed. We're going to be willing to blame it on the guy that DeMeco Ryans hired to run the offense a year and a half ago, and who was, after his first year running the offense,
right,
on that short list of becoming a head coaching candidate. No, he's done. Doesn't work. Bobby, sorry, we love you, but you got to go. Offensive lineman, we love you, but you got to go. We're trying to upgrade here. We're trying to go for it. It's not enough for us to be in the final 8. We want to be in the final 2. And they know it's not going to be easy right now in the AFC with the Ravens and the Bills and the Chiefs. And they gave the Ravens the 1 seed after the 2023 season. They gave them all they could handle in the first half. Story changed. Quarters 3 and 4.
Sure.
And they gave the Chiefs everything they could handle.
They definitely did.
In the division around this year.
Right. No, they had their chances. Yeah, we know. They're there, right?
Arrows pointing up.
Yeah, good. I mean, it's a good conversation. I think some people look at it and go, yeah, they're a playoff team. I don't know if I put them in the Super Bowl window. I'm one that tends to go there that way. All right, last thing, because I know we have also real other news to hit on here.
We're talking football.
I know we're talking football.
We're talking about horses and chickens and shit.
Well, I was actually going to change it to something
shit.
Like that. Like, how many of those guys you think actually knew Country Road, the words? I feel like a few of them maybe there might have been the words might have been fed to them, right? I don't know. I'm not sure I'm buying everybody knew it. All right.
I think some of the lines are known. They're very well known, but the nuances of the verse, growing like a breeze, somebody probably had to.
Yeah.
Here's the lyrics. Here's the lyrics. And what they probably did is they had everybody that we saw on there sing the whole thing, and then they clipped the best, which doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence about what didn't make it, because the best from each one was not great. So the cutting room floor is there for a reason as it relates to the country roads. But it's just awesome. And I know that there are some geographic inaccuracies in John Denver's lyrics, but it really is the official state song and has been forever. And there's a pride that we take in it, and there's just a beautiful simplicity to that song.
There is.
Anyway. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.